Princess Diana, formerly known as Lady Diana Spencer, wasn't always a global icon. Before she was thrown into the harsh view of the public eye, she was just a kindergarten teacher. Since her teaching days, she has since provided us with some incredible fashion looks, inspired a generation, raised awareness for the AIDS disease, and talked about the importance of how mental health is. Today, we are going to get a good understanding for just who she was. We are going to start by getting a good idea of her upbringing and how she came to marry a prince. We're going to talk about the treatment she received within the royal family and how that affected her mental health. And we're going to talk about the legacy that she left after her tragic passing in 1997. We're going to start by going into her upbringing. Lady Diana Spencer was born on July 1st, 1961, to the 8th Earl Spencer and a Mrs. Shand Kidd. Since she was born into a title, she was also raised to become royalty. Her family hosted a staff. Within that staff was a governess who took care of Diana and her siblings. She also attended 2 boarding schools, one called Riddlesworth and the other called the West Heath Boarding School for Girls, according to biography.com. Her family always believed she was destined for great success. Contrary to popular belief, Diana and Charles was not a love at first sight situation. When Diana first met the prince, the firstborn to Queen Elizabeth II, she was just 16 years old. He was dating her older sister Sarah at the time. He was 28. The pair married just 4 years later in 1981. At this wedding, Diana wore her historic wedding gown, which featured a 25-foot train. This wedding look was replicated by many women in the following years, which began to really demonstrate Diana's popularity. To celebrate their wedding and Diana's new pregnancy, the pair took a trip to Wales. This is where the animosity between them grew. Every time Charles approached a member of the public, they would shout at him, asking, "Where's Diana? Where's Diana? We want to see Diana." Charles began to grow jealous over Diana's popularity and success, and Diana grew jealous over Charles' growing feelings for his mistress, Camilla Parker Bowles. Within the royal family, Diana was treated as an outsider. She said, according to Insider.com, she said on her wedding day, "I felt like a lamb to the slaughter, and I knew it." She later said in an interview with Martin Basher that she felt like she was a product sitting on a shelf. Because of how she was treated within the Royal Institute, Diana began to feel suicidal, yet she never really spoke about it in fear of worse treatment from fellow senior royals. In what was later revealed as an attempt to end her own life, a 4-month pregnant Diana threw herself down the stairs at Sandringham, one of the royal estates. Luckily, Diana and the baby weren't harmed, and she went on a few months later to give birth to the future King of England, Prince William. Due to the harsh reports from the tabloids, the mental and verbal abuse she endured from so many, and her corrosive marriage, Diana began to develop an eating disorder, bulimia. She said in her interview with Martin Basher, and I quote, "You inflict it upon yourself because your self-esteem is at a low ebb, and you don't think you're worthy or valuable. You fill up your stomach 4 or 5 times a day, some do it more, and it gives you a feeling of comfort. It's like having a pair of arms around you, but it's temporary. Then you're disgusted at the bloatedness of your stomach, and then you bring it all back up again, and it's a repetitive pattern, which is very destructive to yourself." Despite how she was treated and her mental struggles, Diana still managed to get up every day, face the press, raise her 2 children, and continue with her royal engagements. On August 31st, 1997, Diana was in a fatal car crash in Paris. This led the world to be stricken with grief and shock. Flowers lined the outside of Buckingham Palace, and thousands of letters of condolences were sent to her young children. William was 15, and Harry was 12 years old at the time. This death led to the constant conversation of Diana's legacy. What exactly did she leave behind? One thing that Diana was certainly known for was her fashion skills. She was constantly seen in crew necks and biker shorts, a style we often see in modern fashion today, and she would also wear beautiful gowns, the most notable being her revenge dress. This is the dress she wore after Charles went public with his affair with Camilla Parker Bowles. Diana also spoke out about the importance of AIDS. According to According to TogetherWeCan.org, Diana said at one of her visits to a hospital that specialized in treatments of HIV and AIDS patients, and I quote, "HIV does not make people dangerous to know. You can shake their hands and give them a hug. Heaven knows they need it." Diana also raised a lot of awareness for mental health. According to Time.com, rates of women who seek treatment for their eating disorders more than doubled after Diana spoke out about hers. Not only did she raise awareness for this horrible thing, but she raised awareness for the harsh and grotesque reality of what it is to have an eating disorder. She saved lives by speaking out about this, and due to her advocacy and how much she treated people with kindness, love, and respect, she became known as the People's Princess. Diana led what could have been viewed as a brilliant life. But at the age of 19, she was forced into a role where she would consistently be thrown into a harsh, terrible reality. She would constantly be picked apart by people she didn't know, by the press, and she would constantly be picked apart by people she didn't know and the press over how she raised her children, how she treated others, and every single minuscule thing she did. Just to recap, today we learned about Diana's upbringing and her introduction to the royal family. We learned about how she was treated within the royal family and how this affected her mental and physical health. And we learned about the legacy that she left after her passing. May we never forget all that she sacrificed and all that she taught us. Thank you.